Eagles defeat the Chiefs, the Vikings crumble to the Falcons, and the Lions destroy the goddamn Bears. Let's talk sports. How y'all doing, guys? NFL Week 2 is officially closing out pretty soon. We got some Monday night games. We got a doubleheader tomorrow night on Monday. But the Sunday games have finally ended, guys. I just got done watching this damn Falcons versus the Vikings game. And the Vikings were supposed to be home, and I'm thinking, maybe the Vikings will be a lot better, Maybe they won't fuck up for fourth quarters, or they won't fuck up for three quarters, and then, finally lock in on the fourth one. Well, guys, today the Vikings, they didn't even get to the fourth quarter. They were already losing by a lot by the fourth quarter. I mean, Jesus Christ. The only thing that could help the Vikings was maybe a prayer to Jesus, but you know how the Vikings are. I don't think they got God on their side because they got absolutely smacked around by Bijan Robinson. Michael Penix Jr. was throwing that damn ball. And, I mean, it was a pretty close game. There was just a couple of field goals. And then it added up to 20 points. And then by the time the Vikings were at 6. And I'm just sitting here like, wow. I understand J.J. McCarthy is still getting in the know-how of, trying to win these games and stuff like that. I do like his interview. I do like his poised energy, his relaxed energy. But this, stoicism, this, posed attitude, all this stuff has to actually translate in the game. And clearly, everything J.J. McCarthy was doing in this game was not working. And that's how you have to go back to the drawing board. And that's how you have to really work on these QBs. And, I don't think nobody's expecting J.J. McCarthy to be like Jayden Daniels in his rookie year or anything like that. But this is your second year. You were technically, practicing, even if it was through like some simulation shit or just shadowing over, Sam Darnold. You were shadowing over Sam Darnold. I mean, if you gonna shadow the man, at least, start slinging the goddamn rock, because holy shit, it's just like sometimes J.J. McCarthy can throw these crazy-ass balls that I'm like, oh, all right, I didn't see that shit coming, and there's a touchdown. And then other times, he's having trouble, with the play clock. He's having trouble getting to the line. He's having trouble just, overthrowing the ball, and it's just like, Jesus Christ. This is who the Vikings want to trust in. I get he's still new and stuff like that, but, I mean, look, you have weapons. You have an offensive system that can really work for you if you just lock in. And maybe he wasn't used to the home crowd. Maybe when he did the interview, he said, the crowd goes crazy. Maybe he needed the crowd to quiet the fuck down so he can lock in. It's just like, this is supposed to be like a Michael Penix Jr. versus J.J. McCarthy in the national championship all over again. Well, Michael Penix Jr. just completely killed you, brother. Completely left you in the goddamn grave. I mean, Lord mighty. And so this game was honestly pretty fucking boring. The Vikings didn't do a damn thing. It felt like the Bijan Robinson was just running all over the damn Vikings. So let's go over this game, guys, before we go talk about any other goddamn game. First of all, this game is so goddamn slow. The first quarter, there's only 2 field goals, and it's the damn Falcons. The Vikings can't even get a score. Can't even get a field goal going. Second quarter, finally, the Vikings are able to get a field goal. The problem is, though? You get a field goal after a 19-play drive. A 9-minute drive. Guys, are you kidding me? This is some Lions shit. This is like what Lions were doing with the Packers. You waste so much time off the clock that you can't do anything else. It's just like, what are we doing? Why are we doing these long, stalled-out drives and we're just getting a field goal? I mean, at least do that type of shit when you're already winning the game. When you're at 0, what are we doing? And then it's just a field goal damn frenzy. Third quarter, the Falcons get a field goal in. And then fourth quarter, they get another field goal in. And then finally, finally somebody gets a damn touchdown in this damn football game. 18 plays, 88 yards from the Falcons, 6 minutes long. You know, we start off with a 2-yard run from Bijan Robinson, a 6-yard run, a 10-yard pass from Michael Penix Jr. Got some penalties in there, but then we get the explosive 21-yard pass. Then we get the 4-yard run, a 13-yard run, a 17-yard run. You get some timeouts coming in there. Then we get a 1-yard run, and then a right guard, you know, T. Aguilar gets it in for 5 yards for a touchdown. And that's what ends the damn game. So, where's the damn defense? Why are we not stopping Bijan Robinson? Why are we not stopping the Falcons' run game? You know, get to the damn line. You know, actually, you know, stop and tackle. Wrap this motherfucker up. I mean, what are we fucking doing? You know, this game was just kind of embarrassing to watch for the Vikings. The Vikings today, their performance, the offense is probably just going to get like a 4 out of 10. Defense. What defense? 4 out of 10. Atlanta Falcons, they didn't even play that good either. I mean, look at Michael Penix Jr. trying to figure out this damn offense. I mean, he's still figuring it out. He's still struggling through this damn Vikings crowd. So he even had problems too. But he played a lot better than whatever J.J. McCarthy tried to do. So I'll at least give him like a 5 out of 10. Defense is going to get like a 6. God. Monday Night Football was a disaster for these damn Vikings. But let's move on and talk about... Now let's do some rapid fire recaps before we get into one of the main things I really want to talk about in this Sunday. Starting off with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens, 17-41. Guys, I do like how the Cleveland Browns did put up a pretty decent good fight. You know, quarter one, the Baltimore Ravens were only able to get a field goal. You know, only a touchdown in the second quarter. Quarter three, we got a touchdown and a field goal. And then quarter four, they did land the hammer. They did kind of fuck up the Cleveland Browns, 21. So, yeah, that's definitely cooked for them. But I do like how the Cleveland Browns, they did try to put up a pretty good fight. And, guys, the Browns are never going to win a football game by a good team. Let's just be real. And we knew the Ravens were going to absolutely kill them. But another game that I'm very surprised about was the Jaguars versus the Bengals. Guys, the Jaguars looked pretty comfortable in the first half. They looked like they were winning this game. They got a touchdown in quarter one. Quarter two, they were able to get a touchdown and a field goal. And it just felt like in the first half, this team was really getting good. And then even Joe Burrow got out for a toe injury, which is, sad to see. Hopefully he gets better. But Joe Burrow has not been playing his best, and this toe injury probably just makes things worse. So, the backup QB came and actually made some plays and was able to get out this game alive. So Bengals do scrape by 27-31. They barely win the game. And that's crazy. You barely won against the Jaguars. Man. A really close game, too, that happened. The Cowboys finally get their damn win. They had to go to war, though, with the Giants. They had to go to war with the Giants with Russell Wilson. This was a pretty close, contested game. 37-40. This game even went to OT. And the OT did win by a field goal. Pretty far field goal, too, which is just insane. Guys, every year these kickers just get fucking crazy. And, so quarter one, New York Giants, they start getting a touchdown, but they miss a field goal, which is fucking stupid. Quarter two, they were able to get a touchdown. Quarter three, just 3 points. Quarter four, and then quarter four, the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants go to war. 21 points. And Dallas was able to respond back with 20 points, and they were able to tie it up, and they go to OT, and Dallas was able to win just by a field goal, guys. I am disappointed Dallas had to barely win against the damn Giants, because the Giants are so bad. But hey, Cowboys finally got their first win. Kudos to them. Thank God that Dallas Cowboys fans, they can remain happy that their team's finally got a win off their belt. And I do like how Dak Prescott's playing this season. I think, he's going to have a pretty good season. Now, a game that it's kind of funny that it's so close is the Miami Dolphins versus the, Patriots. Look, everybody was hyping the Patriots up in the preseason. I don't see it at all. And this game is an example of it. You had to go through a close game with the Miami fucking Dolphins. Man. 12 points in quarter one by the Patriots, 3 points, and then Dolphins respond back with 14. And then quarter three, we get 8 points. They try to do that 2-point conversion type thing. Quarter three, Miami Dolphins just get a touchdown. They do miss the field goal, which maybe they try to go for 2. That's probably why. Quarter four, 10-7. Patriots were able to get, 10 points. And then, Miami was just able to respond with 7. So they barely get out of this game alive with just a field goal. That is insane to me, in my opinion. Another game that, I knew this was going to happen. 49ers did get kind of injured really badly. So, this game wasn't their most strong suit game. But hey, look, guys, they were still able to win, like I said. Trust in the offensive system. 26-21. Saints lose. Thank God the Saints are still losing. I love seeing, the Rattler still getting fucked. And, hey, shout out to the 49ers for winning that one. So, yeah, look, guys, we got everything, going from the 49ers. They all got injured, but, they were still able to win. A game that I knew that the Bills were going to win this game. 30-10 against the damn New York Jets. Look, there's nothing you can do against Josh Allen if you're, if you're the Jets. The Jets are just a terrible-ass team. There's just no question. Quarter one, they already had 10 points. Quarter two, they had another 10 points. They slowed down in quarter three, but they picked it back up in quarter four with 7 points. 30-10. Jets, y'all should have put up a better fight, but, Jets can only do so much. A pretty surprising game, too, was the Seattle Seahawks beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers couldn't get off shit today. He was shitting bricks out there. Holy shit. Them Seattle Seahawks, look, maybe I said they sucked a little too soon. They completely fucked over these Pittsburgh Steelers. That defense couldn't let Aaron Rodgers do a goddamn thing. And they swept his old ass up. Obviously, they couldn't get the run game going. Look at the damn score. 31-17. Damn. Guys, when you start out with a touchdown and you can only respond with 2 field goals, second quarter you respond with a touchdown, third quarter they respond with a touchdown, field goal from the Seahawks, a touchdown, field goal from these damn Steelers, and then they respond with a touchdown on themselves. Hey, look, you fuck with these Seahawks, you don't play your best game, and these Seahawks are going to sweep you up. They're going to swoop you up like some fucking hawks. They're going to eat at your damn limbs. They're going to, eat you up, swallow you up, and throw you on their own damn grave. They don't give a damn. They'll fucking kill any team in their sight. And that's what we saw today from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got completely destroyed. I'd kill myself if I was a Steelers fan and the Seahawks beat me this badly. Another game, too, which I expected this to happen, was, the LA Rams taking on the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward had the lead for a little bit in the first half. Look, hey, Cam Ward, he was able to get the lead. And then Matthew Stafford kind of reminds you why Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford. Quarter three, a touchdown and a field goal. Quarter four, a touchdown, and they got 3 more goddamn points. It's just science, guys. You go up against Matthew Stafford, and that's just going to happen to you. But hey, Cam Ward, he was able to hold his own for one half. Another game, too, which I expected, the Arizona Cardinals to win this game, and they to beat the damn Panthers. They beat them pretty good, 22-27. You might say, hey, this is not a very close game. The damn Panthers are 22. Cardinals, why are they at 22? Guys, you have to let the Panthers score a little bit. I mean, you can't let the Panthers, completely dog out at 0, even though that's what I really want to happen. But I like how these teams love to give the Panthers, a touchdown here, touchdown here. Maybe the defense gets a little tired because they're going against the Panthers. Who fucking cares? And they get a little bit of a touchdown going. You just need that to happen a little bit. Because let's be real, guys. These Panthers can't do a goddamn thing against any football team in the NFL, which is just absolutely hilarious. 22-27. I wish the Cardinals would have, fucked them over, gave them a 50-piece, but the Cardinals are not capable of a 50-piece. Denver Broncos against the Indianapolis Colts. This is one of my big disappointments, so let's get into it. When I did this prediction, I said the Broncos are going to kick the Colts' ass, and that is not what happened. So, guys, I think y'all need to take this Broncos hype completely down the fucking drain. You're going to tell me the Broncos might go to the Super Bowl this year, but they can't stop the Indianapolis Colts? They can't stop Daniel Jones and his goddamn fucking crew? What are we goddamn doing here? The Broncos have one of the best defenses in the NFL. But I look at this offense. The way this offense can never get off the ball. People saying Bo Nix just needs time, just needs this, needs that. Well, when's this fucking, time? When's all this training camp? When's all this shit actually going to work out in the damn field when you're actually at the damn game? Guys, you can't tell me the Broncos are going to go to the Super Bowl if they're getting their shit plummeted by the Colts. And this is a close game. Why is this a close game? How in the hell? Daniel Jones is not that good. He is just an easy-ass pocket passer. Easily fits in the Colts' little simple-ass offensive scheme. Or that's why, Anthony Richardson has such a problem being in there, because they don't want to actually teach him any of that shit. They don't want to, teach him how to do any of that shit. So they put Daniel Jones to do it. Daniel Jones is an average quarterback that can do this and win some games. So why is this average-ass quarterback dueling the Broncos? If you want to do something this year, maybe you want to go to the Super Bowl once in your damn life, not even the Super Bowl, that's just these stupid-ass media, hype train. We need to focus on maybe even trying to get a playoff game, because I don't even see a playoff game happening with this team. The offense looks lazy. The offense doesn't look like they even want to be there. I look at this defense. They're playing hard for all fourth quarters. Where is this effort on the offensive side of the ball? What are we doing? Jesus Christ, 28-29. You should have never let that damn happen. That's crazy. I'd be ashamed. So that's all the really crazy Sunday action that's happening, guys. Let's get into the last two games this Sunday that I want to talk about. Let's start off with, my team and, my favorite team of the NFL. In my opinion, the best team in the NFL. One of the best teams. Just look at the lines today. Lions versus the Bears. I love how, Ben Johnson came in there, he tried to do our, fourth down and conversions, try to do, what we do. And, it just really shows, this is the kid, this is the little kid stuff. And then this is the Lions, this is the big boy, big shit right here, 21-52. Guys, they sucked the soul out of these Bears. Ben Johnson probably, saw ghosts, probably saw demons. When he had to, probably shake hands with Dan Campbell, he probably fucking didn't want to. Let's just be damn real. The touchdown drives of the Lions just kept happening. Touchdown, in the first quarter. You know, Bears do respond with a touchdown of their own, and then Lions respond with a touchdown again from the Lions. They even, even when you think the Lions are maybe going to go for a field goal, I like how Dan Campbell said, nah, we're going to go for it on 4th and goal. We're going to get that touchdown. And they throw it to St. Brown, and he gets that easy touchdown. You know, they do get one field goal, but then it's just another touchdown frenzy. And by the time, the score is way over the Bears' head, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. I loved how the Lions played today. You know, it was a little slow starting, but that's how the Lions games go. I really need this slow starting to, tighten up. If this slow start can tighten up, the Lions are going to be unstoppable if they can tighten up that slow start. But other than that, the Lions played great today. 8 out of 10 for the Lions on the offensive side. Defense side of the ball is going to get like a 6. I wish the defense would have played a little bit better. But they did their thing. They tried their best. The Bears. Caleb Williams, sometimes he looks good, and it's just sometimes he just doesn't look good. I mean, this guy was overthrowing the balls. Couldn't even get anywhere going. 4 out of 10 for the offense today. And then, that defense side of the ball is going to get a 4 too. Disappointing from the Bears, but hey, the Lions completely stomped them. Let's move into the mainstay, the main game of the week, guys. I wanted to save this one for last because it's, a lot of my talking points today are going to be about this game, guys. Eagles versus the Chiefs. This is the Super Bowl rematch, guys. I was so excited to watch this game, and this game did not disappoint. This was a defensive battle for all 4th quarters. I really like that. The Eagles were struggling trying to get yards. The Chiefs were struggling trying to get... the Chiefs were struggling the whole game, but even the Eagles were struggling, too, to even get points. This was just a fun, competitive game. And my only problem about this game, guys, is going to be the simple fact that, once again, Patrick Mahomes is doing everything in his power to win these football games. And one of the, concerning things that I heard while I was watching this game, Andy Reid saying, well, if we just have to, we're going to rely on Patrick Mahomes to do these game-winning situations. And, I get that. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best. But also, you can't do that every time. When you're playing up against the Eagles, there's only so much Patrick Mahomes can do. You see Patrick Mahomes just struggle throughout this game, trying to make throws. Receivers not being on point. The only receiver that was on point today was Travis Kelce. But Travis Kelce even had problems too and caused an interception for a missed throw. Even the guy who was making the really insane passes for him, and Patrick Mahomes was able to get one pass and one touchdown like the old days, but it was too late. It was way too late. There was already 2 minutes on the clock. They already took... So, yeah. Disappointing start, from the Chiefs. But, it was a pretty fun, competitive game. I just wish the Chiefs would have played a little bit better. Hopefully when they get, Xavier Worthy, they get, all their players back, the Chiefs will be more competitive. But so far, it's once again Patrick Mahomes carrying the team on his back. And you see what happens, guys. Eagles didn't even play that good either. Saquon Barkley couldn't get anything going. Jalen Hurts was struggling throughout this game. Defenses were on today. But there's only so much that defense can do when, your whole offense is just not on the same track as Patrick Mahomes. The only person I feel like who's dialed in the Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes. And that is a huge problem because football is a team sport. Football needs the whole team. This ain't the fucking NBA. You can't just have Stephen Curry and then we're gonna go to the playoffs. You need your whole damn team. Alright? So, yeah. Guys, disappointing start from the Chiefs, but, this is a pretty fun, competitive game. The ending score for this game, guys, was 20-17. Yeah, guys, how do y'all feel about NFL Week 2, the Sunday slot? I think a lot of good games were played today. There was some boring games, but that's how the NFL go, guys. And if you're on Pandora, my Pandora people, make sure you follow. We're covering the NFL all year throughout the 2026 and above. I'm probably even going to be doing basketball. So you NBA motherfuckers, watch out. I got some NBA opinions for you too. But if you're on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. I will see y'all later. You have a good one. Bye.